על יבוש מפני המליגים, מלך המשיח מזמן כבר התגלה, יחי אדוננו מורנו ורבנו, מלך המשיח לעולם ועד. יחי אדוננו מורנו ורבנו, מלך המשיח לעולם ועד. One of the first halachas in Shulchan Arוך is not al yevsh mipnei המליגים, Chaim Levracha, the Rebbe Zalman Zgal Leved, Yechia Adonenu Min Rabbeinu Melech HaMashiach L'Olam Va'ed. Malligim doesn't mean from the outside. Malligim means from, because the outside, who's laughing? A Christian is laughing at a guy saying Yechi? Tell him here. What about you? Your guy is dead for 2,000 years. A secular guy is laughing. Secular people are not laughing at religious people. They are trying to figure out a way to create a society where religious people don't kill each other and religious people don't harm others, non-religious. Like that the Nisnagdim don't fight with the Chassidim, like they used to do 200 years ago, destroying the shuls that the Chassidim were trying to build for themselves. The Alter Rebbe had to mention not to do violence to the Chassidim. But they were a small group, so they weren't really persecuting much. Always a small group doesn't persecute much. And then you, like Thomas Jefferson, you had to make that all religions should have stay in their space, and no one's stopping you. You want to talk to God? Talk to God. You want God to talk to you? Talks back to you. And you shouldn't kill all the non-believers. People who have other faiths or no faith. Al Yevsh Mipnei Hamaliigim means inside. You shouldn't have the inside. The mashpia will try to put you down and belittle you, because that's the only thing you could do when you have a question and you don't have an answer and it's impossible, and there's no nice way to break it to somebody that he wasted not just half his life, but the best half, the part where you're supposed to be educating yourself and training yourself in critical thinking, in history, and understanding religion and its place in the world, and of course science, to know how the natural world works, because if science can't tell you about the existence of God, but it can tell you everything you need to know about the natural world and its workings, right? So Yevsh Mipnei Hamaliigim is the guy who's laughing at you, but he's not laughing at you because he has better and he has more and he's smarter, or he's laughing at you because he's richer, or he's laughing at you because he's stronger, but he's laughing at you because it's his only tactic, because he's not able to talk and have a conversation with himself and realize your question. He's not able to take your question to heart. He's not able to take your question and think about it for a minute. That's why always never attack your mashpia, but always ask your mashpia in the nicest, most amazing way possible. Say, maybe there is an answer, maybe you have an answer, maybe there's an answer in Chassidus, or maybe our mashpia, Harav Agoyin, Harav Chassid, has an amazing pshat that we do not know from Chassidus, but the mashpia with his wisdom will able to understand. The contradictions in the Bible don't bother a believer. The contradictions in the shalshelas of Chassidus doesn't bother the believer. Never bothered me. What the contradiction is, your application to the Chassidus. Meaning, I want to have to continue later, my daughter. The nekuda is, it bothers when you can't apply yourself to the Chassidus, when it doesn't fit to you. For example, Klale Chinuch V'Adracha that the Rebbe Rashab wrote, it's very few laws. So what does the Rebbe Rashab mean to think a half hour a day or an hour a day about chinuch, just like the mitzvah of tefillin is every day? So chinuch, you have to think about it every day. The application takes the hour a day. The laws are very few, but the application to apply those chinuch v'adracha to your child, it's very, very, takes a long time, and you have to exert yourself in straining it. So if the mashpia doesn't want to put in the hours, as the Rebbe would say to the generals in Israel, Titpatel. We need a new mashpia. We love you. You're gonna be our mashpia forever. We're gonna put a plaque on the wall that here sat the greatest mashpia that ever lived. But the answers we're gonna have to find from a more modern source, or from another mashpia. An older mashpia, a younger mashpia, another mashpia, a mashgiach, from a Litvish yeshiva we'll invite one day. We'll invite a Karliner, we'll invite a Satmarer, and we'll ask the same questions and we'll compare. You don't have to actually invite those people over. You just have to tell your mashpia that that's what you plan on doing, and watch him start shitting bricks. Watch his top blow off. Watch the fish jump in the water. Watch it shiver. It's just fun because it doesn't tell you, because it takes a lot of time to understand and to fully get the full scope of the picture, but to watch him shiver takes a few seconds. Just apply those rules, those klalei chinuch v'hadracha. One time something bothered me so much, but I had no idea where to get my answers, but I knew that it bothered me. I was sitting down talking to an old Holocaust survivor. He was selling old things of his house on the street. So I sat down, I think, on a chair that he gave me, and it wasn't the traditional way where you talk, where the yeshiva bacher talks to the stranger, where the stranger's sitting and you're standing, and your foot looks, your fingers stuck into your sefer like you're holding the place. You're not really talking to the guy. You're not really sitting with him. You're just listening to him as sepast nicht, but sepast, yeah, to show that I am still listening to another human, because that's the light of Torah, isn't it? So who drives by? This guy, the mashpia who runs the smicha program, and he looks at me. It's California weather. It's warm. I was able to sit down on a chair and listen to the guy's stories, and with his nod of disapproval, and he drives by. They didn't offer me a lift, but that's okay, because but his disapproval. So later when I asked him exactly what was the disapproval, was it because I was sitting, if I would be standing at one foot pretending that I'm walking, and stand in that pose, in that yoga pose for a half hour, then I wouldn't get the nod of disapproval, and then I would be able to talk to the guy. So scratching my ear like this is part of the religion? Teach me. Because what that guy had to say was very important. And if that guy went into Yechidus with the Rebbe, then the whole conversation would become Torah. Right? Sichas chulun shel Talmidei Chachamim. He forgot that I'm a tzaddik nister, chelik elakami mal mamish, atzmus amhus meluvish beguf, and I'm a Talmid Chacham, just I'm a kid, but I'm those prodigy kids that is a Rebbe at age 9. He didn't know that. I knew it. I'm also Lamed Vavnik, but that, because I'm a Lamed Vavnik and I'm a nister, so I still don't know yet, but they're going to send me the memo. So I came back to him and I asked him, and he gave me this farkakta answer. You could try it on your own, mashpia, when they look at you in disapproval because you're speaking to a foreigner. So I asked him what was exactly the matter, and he was like this. It was outside. You were talking, and the guy, and he didn't know what he wanted himself. So that's a question that bothered me. It didn't bother me that Eliyahu Navi wouldn't be approved of by the Rebbe today. His whole tactic of lying and cheating and killing, or whether that story really happened or it was just a bunk propaganda back in the Middle East to create wield power. I think it's the Barbanel explains the story in his way to make it make sense, which is what you have to do, because the book is holy anyway, right? It's an authority. It's a piece of the Bible. It's in the canon. So he says that Eliyahu had a chashash that they would kill him, so he killed them. I don't think that's how it works in a dog-eats-dog world. The tiger is built to kill, and the sheep is built to be killed. If Eliyahu had the power, and he knew that he had the power, and he had the men with the swords standing, and he outnumbered them, so he killed them. So whether he performed the whole magic show of God with the fire god lighting up which one, probably didn't happen and didn't need to happen, but he filled in the blanks later, that he proved to them that God lit up his carbon, and you can't do it again, by the way. That proof of which God is the right God You can't do it again, even though the conflict of religion is much more deeper today, and much more diverse, and much more confusing. Later, we'll talk more.